Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to another video review. I am Max. The cat is not here. And today we're watching Nadir. We missed this because we were doing something else. We were reviewing Mikey and this kind of came out of the blue. So we're reviewing it. Nadir is always a treat, as you know. One of my personal favorites. Also Isa. So yes, we're going to be reviewing that. Before we do anything, make sure to do the social things, like, share, subscribe, send it to a friend, send it to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your screen, and you'll subscribe to Share About the Tops. And that way we can show that up for the channel. Yellow. Oh, that is big on this screen. All right, boom. Let's go. I always think of treats when I hear his name. Oh boy, dude, something changed here. Hold on. Why is it? What the freaking hell? It's all on small. Huh. That is freaking weird. It's way too big. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping or something. All right, Nadir. Isa should be coming any moment. I fucked up. I forgot that the US changed the time. You Americans messing around with freaking time. So I forgot, and I told Isa at 9, but I thought it was like an hour later. But never mind. Here we are.
Ready for you.
All right. Thank you. I'm ready to go now. All right. So the debate topic here is Islam true? Well, I think for this debate, I'm going to be presenting evidence from both science as well as history and comparing it.
Oh, no. If you know Nadir, you know what's coming, and I would be like, no, don't do it.
with what the Bible teaches and what the Quran.
Wait. We need this, and we need that. And I need to open that. And we need to change the title of this. Nadir says dumb stuff. Let's go. Put that there. All right. And I need to turn that to 0. Perfecto. All right.
Teaches on the exact same issue. I'm just going to share my screen, if I may, just so I can, just give me 1 second here, and you'll see what I'm talking about here.
Okay, we're ready for you.
Okay. So this is very interesting. If you look at Islam and Christianity, they talk about the same things. Both Jesus and Muhammad
No, number 1 point. I don't know if you can read there. But right above where his cursor is, it says mustard seed. No. Hold on. Where the hell is Isa? Wait, no. What's happening? Ah, there he is. There you are. Hello.
Hey, where's everyone else at?
No idea. But here we are with Nadir, and he just opened his presentation, and the first thing I see is the mustard seed. Yes.
He can't help that. He can't help that. Like, it really is. I don't know why that's so. Like, to me, this is a problem I have with Nadir. Is that Nadir will grant everything that is not really scientific in the Quran and prop it up as being hyper scientific. Like he gives all the grace to it, but then he will give no grace and he gives no quarter to anything in the Bible. It's just it comes off really like two different standards. Like the Vas Deferens, he'll bring that up as the scene. I'm like, dude, this is really dishonest, man. Like if that
oh
came
my,
up,
really?
like, you're not fair. You're giving a different standard for the Quran that you're giving for the Bible. And you're like, I'm going to give the most charitable vision to this narrative where it's completely vague. It doesn't say what you're saying. You're making this very vague statement, very specific. And the other argument is then you like take this thing that's a very spiritual, mystical thing, and then you try to take it and try to make it scientific. Like it comes off as really like shifting the goalpost and being really dishonest. You know what I mean? Like, don't you feel that? Am I wrong? Am I off? Or do you think I'm right?
I mean, I think it's just silly because all you need to do is Google each one of his points and show how he's wrong. Like the Vas Deferens thing, just show a diagram from the side and you'll see that it's not true, and that's pretty much it, right? That's my interest in Nadir is he's so confidently wrong.
But what do you think about the point?
Funny.
What do you think about that point that I said that like he shifts these goalposts where he makes unfair standards? Like when you're an honest debater, you will give credit and honesty to your opponent's position, right? And then you're consistent with your standard, right? But he's completely inconsistent with the standard, and it makes it just so like it makes him come off being really not trustworthy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, am I wrong on that, or
no? Yeah, I mean,
that's like what I feel. It just feels like you can't trust
incompetent. He's incompetent. So to me, that's funny, right?
You're funny. That was funny.
He fails even when he's being dishonest, which is like the worst kind. You get to see, guys, if I don't know if you can zoom in, but you get to see some of the auto-moderated comments. That's funny. All right.
Talked about mustard seeds, alcohol, washing hands before eating, remarriage, epilepsy, and who killed Jesus. Now that's interesting. It looks like one is just doing a copy job of the other. But what you're going to find in this debate tonight is that Islam gives very different answers on all these questions. And and the reason why is because it's answering the question how you can know Islam to be true by just comparing the teachings. So let's see who does a better job. You know, and based on what I'm basing that off of is at the top here. Choose the best answer based on the real world outcomes and observable consequences. But
I love how he takes his own checklist. That is top left. That is just amazing. Him like propping himself up in the argument. That is just lovely.
Between these two books, so they both, both the Bible and the Quran, they talked about who killed Jesus. Well, the Bible says that it was actually the Jews who killed Jesus. Over here inside 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14, it states the Jews killed Jesus, but the Quran teaches the Jews.
Oh, well, we're starting a little bit early with the anti-Semitism. Like, come on, Nadir.
Jews did not kill Jesus inside chapter 4, verse 157. So what could be the problem here? That, accusing an entire group of people of the worst sin possible. This is called deicide, the killing of God. Well, the Holocaust. I don't know if you know this, but the New Testament, this specific passage, the Holocaust scholars have talked a lot about this. And and based on their research, this is one of the root causes of the Nazi Holocaust.
No,
So
wait,
the
what?
Quran comes.
What? Are you for real? No, Nadir. Isa, did you hear that?
Wild.
What the fuck, Nadir? Hold on. I need to hear it again.
Have talked a lot about this. And and based on their research, this is one of the root causes of the Nazi Holocaust.
What? No. How? Nadir, that is just asinine. Sorry.
So the Quran comes 600 years later and removes this theological driver of hate. So let's take a look at some references just to back up everything I'm saying. I'm quoting the Holocaust.
I'm sorry, did he just appeal to the Nazis like in sort of like a very fallacious way? Like, what the fuck was that, Nadir?
Wild.
That is just insane. Wait. Anti-Semitism's Christian roots. Oh no.
Holocaust Encyclopedia, all right? It states over here, the false charge that the Jews killed Jesus. I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. There you go. The false charge that the Jews killed Jesus was one of the root causes of the Holocaust. Again, I'm quoting the Holocaust Museum. Let's go to Yad Vashem. This is it's a museum in Israel. If you ever get a chance, this is the building right here. You can go take a look at it. It states over here that one of the roots of Nazism is actually biblical Christianity. It says Christian anti-Judaism.
What the hell? But like, sure, there's been though, but how does that make the religion? Because it's only a subset of people. Oh my, Nadir, no, this is very embarrassing.
What are they talking about? This is a video I'm quoting from Roots of Nazi Ideology. This is from this is coming from Holocaust scholars. Not
Yad Vashem. He's quoting a Jewish YouTube channel to make his point that Islam is superior to Christianity. Why? Like, what?
Not my words. This is not coming from jihadalakbar.com. Okay?
Oh no.
And let us see what they say. The Jewish belief that
that joke was atrocious. Nadir. Stick to mangling arguments, please.
The Jews were accused of deicide. Deicide is the belief in the killing of God, which is exactly what First Thessalonians teaches. So now that creates something called the Christian dilemma. Okay, now I know.
No. Are you ready, Isa? Oh, this is going to be hilariously bad.
I know what you're thinking here. Well, those Christians just misinterpreted the Bible. This has nothing to do with interpreting the Bible. This is about inciting hatred. And that is, so it has nothing to do with interpretation. And I know you're thinking, well, we can't believe, all the blame goes on those ignorant believers. Yeah, some of the blame goes on the ignorant believers, but not all, because the Bible was guilty of introducing an idea while knowing it will likely cause harm or serious problems, and that it would, and so by a certain degree, it will bear some of the responsibility for that. Go ahead and put this in your chat GPT, what I'm underlining, and it will.
No! No, what do you mean put this into ChatGPT? No, that gets you 20 things. Damn clanker lover. No, Nadir.
They'll all say, yes, that's exactly right.
Hold on. Introducing an idea while knowing it will likely cause harm or serious problems does create some degree of moral responsibility for foreseeable outcomes, true or false. He gives you the ChatGPT prompt. That is just lovely. I think that will give you 10 more things for that, just for the heck of it. Isa, what are some of your thoughts in the Dawa GPT kind of a thing?
Oh, what do I think about ChatGPT? Well, what I think for this debate, I don't care. I want him to use it. I want Nadir to use ChatGPT. I think it's amazing. Having ChatGPT doesn't mean you win. You have to know how to use AI tools. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
just saying it and then just bringing up Holocaust over and over again, like, he's not winning. He's not winning with these arguments. It's just it's like all over the place. I think he should use ChatGPT to tell him how to organize his arguments. That's the way you should use it. Don't just use it for research and giving you information. Use it to organize your stuff. Use it to help edit your stuff, But you should have something you're working with already.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I trust my brain more than the machine that I don't like to do that. But yeah, on mine, Nadir.
So this is a Christian dilemma. If we
Okay.
make the assumption that Prophet Muhammad is a false prophet from Satan, and the Quran explicitly states that Jews did not kill Jesus, thus removing the stigma and theological hostility, it reduced one of the major drivers of religious hatred. If you go through the Islamic world and you look at the entire history of Islam, what won't you find? You will not find Jews being persecuted or killed because they're Christ killers or because of anything taught in the Quran. You'll
That's a claim, Nadir. Any thoughts, Isa? I mean, it was an expansionist movement, a little bit imperialistic, so that's a bold claim to make.
not find that, but you will find that in the Bible. How can we reconcile an alleged false prophet correcting a correction that brought a certain level of peace into the world, while God's word allegedly, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14, 16, the accusation against the Jews of deicide brought persecution into the world. So it wasn't just a Holocaust, it was 2,000 years of suffering and persecution. It is not an interpretation, but rather the explicit teaching. Post-Holocaust reinterpretations don't work because it ignores the reality. So it goes on stating over here, how does this make sense? And you can go ahead and put this in your ChatGPT. I'll do it at a later time, but I want you to do it. Because of course,
No, for fuck's sake. That gets you 10 more. Stop telling people to use ChatGPT. Like, cite your sources.
it could be biased towards me. You do it at home and you'll see that the assumption Muhammad being a false prophet in light of the good it brought to the world, correcting the evil, the sinister evil unleashed upon mankind by the teachings of the Bible, this assumption doesn't make sense. That's all I'm trying to prove here. So I'm going to underline this, and my opponent is going to have to make sense of that. Let me underline that for you in light of this evidence. So let's take a look. We're going to find out that the misery and suffering doesn't stop there. Let us go look at, let me go to scorecard. Who killed Jesus? I'm sure you'll agree, based on real world outcomes, Islam gave the better answer. So I'll go ahead and give the answers the Quran.
Wait. Oh my God. That's a weird argument, if I ever heard one. Completely needs to get fact checked on the history of Muslims against Jews, which, I mean, I suspect it's not all peaceful.
And hadith over there. I'm sure my opponent will not object on that one. Okay. Let us now, both Muhammad and Jesus talked about alcohol.
No.
And what we find out now is that just drinking just even a little bit of alcohol, there's no
No, liar.
safe limit, basically. People say, oh, it's good for your heart. The overall harm of alcohol outweighs any good. And here
No, it doesn't. Liar.
we have, if you see these children on your screen here, these are children who have fetal alcohol syndrome because their mother drank some alcohol.
No, dude, what a liar. Fetal alcohol syndrome comes directly from an alcoholic mother that drinks throughout the whole pregnancy. It's not because you drank like a glass of wine, your child is going to have fetal alcohol syndrome. That is asinine. Again. And he's straight up lying.
While they were pregnant. And we now know from science, I'm going to go and show you. I know this is really small. Let me make this a little bigger. Oh, let me go back there. We know that Muslim women are 50 times less likely to give birth to a fetal alcohol child. Let's go and look at that study, which I was quoting from, as compared to Christians. So what the study says, you got to go to the Christians. That's where you're going to find this disease, a fetal alcohol syndrome. So here we see yet another example. Again, I'm not here to show, look, Bible contradicts science. That's not the issue here. The issue here is who's giving the better answers on these issues. Well, I don't think there's any question about it, that Islam is giving the better answer on alcohol. Now, remember, when I say this is a better answer,
but why? Like, show the thing. Show the justification, you filthy liar.
here's a study I'm quoting from, in case you want to just hit.
Does that make okay? It's a cherry picked part of the study. But dude, hold on. I knew I want to go to private because I don't want to shit. Let's actually check the thing. There we go. Fuck. Man. I swear to God he's wrong. Alcohol exposure during pregnancy results in impaired growth, stillbirth, fetal alcohol. Yes. How much? Excuse me. One in 10 deaths were misuse. Alcohol misuse contributes to 88,000 deaths a year. Yeah, maybe it's like alcohol should be banned for everyone. 1 second. The rate of alcohol use in pregnancy range from 20 to 80% in Ireland. Oh my. 40 to 80% in Australia. The prevalence of any alcohol use of women. How much? Mother freaking hell. A standard. Hold on. It doesn't say how much. But I mean, I'm pretty sure he's being alarmist in that sense. I'll get the exact data and I'll link it in the description after, so you don't just look at me reading shit.
Pause on your YouTube screen. I'm quoting from the European Child of Adolescent Psychiatry. Now, when I say Islam gave the better answer, I'm talking about it in a period of time when we didn't know the effects of alcohol on the pregnant woman or on children. So in this period of time, then there's no doubt that the right answer is you shouldn't drink any alcohol. So in addition to that, the Quran also gave another scientifically correct statement. Science tells us today that the overall harm outweighs any good. Here's the study I'm quoting from.
CNN. Okay, hold on.
It states over here. Yeah. They have some benefit for the people. I'm sorry, this is the study I'm quoting from. This is from CNN. It states over here, many studies have shown that the overall health risk of drinking alcohol outweighs any benefits, I'm sorry.
Medical director of the British Heart Foundation. And lowering risk for heart attack. However, the study's big takeaway was that even one drink could shorten life expectancy long term. Reduction in alcohol use added 1 to 2 years to life expectancy at 40.
The Quran, word for word, states this. It says.
Sorry, I had to step out for a second. I'm here. Did you ask me a
Okay.
question? I apologize if you did.
Yes, I don't remember now. Oh, yes, wait. Nadir was talking about how the Muslims brought up peace with the Jews. You there?
Just a lot of not so much. It's complex. It's very complex.
And now he's talking about alcohol damage. Do you have any clinical experience with fetal alcohol syndrome? Like
It's
training
wild.
on that? Okay.
But their harm far greater than their benefit. 2 scientifically correct statements. So in correcting the teaching of the Bible, how many scientifically correct statements? We find 2. So the argument, oh, well, other people condemned alcohol in history doesn't work because nobody in history made 2 scientifically correct statements. Now let's look at a third.
No one in history made 2 scientifically correct statements. That's what he said. What? Oh my, Nadir,
Nadir is a hero.
Huh?
We need to debate Nadir. He's our hero.
Oh my, yes.
Inside the following, this is from Ibn Omar. He's narrating from the Prophet. He said, whoever drinks khamar, which is alcohol, and does not get intoxicated, his salah will not be accepted so long as any trace of it remains in his belly or his veins. In his alcohol in the veins? That was only discovered until recently. So in this one correction, what my opponent will have to answer for me is how do you explain Muhammad, an alleged prophet?
I know. You know that even for the ancient people, they kind of knew that the red liquid inside was meant to stay inside, and that takes stuff around. So yeah, no, Nadir, this is not that really big of a deal.
If you say the false prophet, an alleged false prophet made 3 scientifically correct statements in correcting one mistake of the Bible.
Oh.
That is not humanly possible. Only a God can make 3 scientifically correct statements. So again, my argument is not that, oh, look, the Quran condemns alcohol because other people have condemned alcohol, but nobody has made 3 scientifically correct statements in its so-called condemnation.
The problem is that God allowed for alcohol, and then God said you don't need to have alcohol. Like,
I mean,
he's
right?
missing that whole portion. Like, he's just acting like alcohol was always prohibited. The Sahaba did drink alcohol initially, the companions of the Prophet.
Yes. And I mean, God, like, if you believe in creation, God made the mechanism, like the microorganisms that eat up sugars and poop alcohol, that make like the fermentation of most alcoholic drinks. Right? Like, that is a part of creation. Then why is it that big of a deal? I understand the prohibition, like to be drunk on the temple, like as a symbolic thing, right?
Right.
But why does he take it as such a big deal? I mean, I don't
I don't
drink.
know what Islam says. You know what Islam says? Islam says, I'll take a picture. Islam says that alcohol, there's some good in alcohol and there's some bad in alcohol, but the bad outweighs the good. It doesn't say alcohol is bad. That's not what Islamic tradition says.
Right. And in any case, Nadir, I don't drink because I don't like it. But there's people that drink and that are not alcoholics, and they have like no problem. They live and they live their life and enjoy it and have a drink every once in a while, and that's it. Like it's not a black and white thing.
So let's go to our scorecard and let's go ahead and check mark. Islam gave the better answer on alcohol. Let's go to the virginity test. Now, we all know from science, there's no such thing as a virginity test. There's no way you can test a person's virginity. That is ridiculous and it is silly because we know that there are some women who are born without a hymen. There are some women who break it just doing exercise. So that's stupid. And then, of course, you get sexually abused women. In Deuteronomy,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can do that. No. Oh my fucking God.
No, and Muslims have given virginity tests too. There are Muslims who don't.
Yeah.
That's just not true.
This is painful, Nadir.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 17, it tells us that basically to perform a virginity test. I won't go too much in detail on that because I want to show you
I mean, he's not wrong in the criticism of that particular passage. Which
but that's for Jews. That's not even for non-Jewish people. This is like for Jewish people. So he's taking the rules that are for Jewish people and trying to make for everyone. The point is, if you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus. You don't believe in the rules of the Torah. No Christian believes that, So,
I mean, he would have to defend. If I were having that conversation, he would have to defend that the rules don't apply to it, and that is just something that I don't know Paul made up, right? But you are right. Though I do like the application of that passage. That is very problematic for the Christians.
But the problem is, it's problematic for Nadir because the Bible, the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil are for the Muslim.
That is also true.
So the point is, if he critiques that, he critiques Islam.
I haven't seen past a few. Like I started watching this and I stopped because I knew we would eventually see it.
And you're just like, oh, it's so stupid.
Oh my! So far, it's just Nadir is a delight.
Position. This is the most wicked among you. Among the people in the
Blackburn, yes, because there was a little bit of anti-Semitism right off the bat there, and he added up a bunch of points. And Nadir gets the eventual multiplier because he says really, really dumb stuff.
Eyes of Allah on the day of judgment is a man who goes to his wife and she comes to him, and then he divulges her secret. Well, what took place in that bedroom, whether there's blood or no blood. There's no virginity test in Islam. Now you find some ignorant, stupid Muslims who might do that stupid stuff. But
Excuse me, what? So a no true Scotsman, got it. Nadir, you're lucky I don't have two counters because someone keep track of the fallacies for me. We're one so far.
What the prophetic hadith clearly states here, there is no such thing. So, and science has made it very clear that virginity tests are absolutely barbaric and they're stupid. This is, I won't even show you the
What? Cite the study that says barbaric and stupid, Nadir. Please.
references. Maybe I show you.
Look, he
and
had
they're stupid. This is, I won't even show you the references. Maybe I show you one. Let me see. I can't find it. But anyway, if my opponent has some questions about it, I'll show you the scientific reference for that. So let's go to the scorecard. Virginity test.
But you didn't show. Why did you get to score? Oh no. That's just wild. Look, Nadir, they are kind of barbaric to have to subject someone to a virginity test, but even more is to care about someone's virginity, right?
Well, we know that Jesus didn't care. Like, it's actually very clear that he himself didn't care, because we see the precedent with the adulterer, where the adulterer was said, you know, should you stone her to death? There's nothing about Jesus teaching as a person alive that had any consideration of these things. He didn't care. The only thing he cared about was people being hypocrites. That's pretty much his entire narrative when we read the Gospels, right? He doesn't care about marriage. He doesn't care about virginity. He doesn't care about political, worldly matters. He's a Jewish mystic. So it's very strange when people are like when Christian empires did virginity tests, I'm like, that's your made up thing. It has nothing to do with this dude. This guy doesn't care about worldly stuff, you know? There's
Right.
nothing about it that he actually cares about that, you know? He's a Jewish hippie, you could say, you know?
Yeah.
Islam gave the better answer. So now we know why Islam is talking about the same talking points as the New Testament or the Bible. It's correcting the mistakes. So how bad is this going to get?
Oh my. Jim Bob here said, this dude makes me think evolution is true. Oh. So dumb. Hold on. Give it a second. Where is it? Yeah,
That's
there
the
we go.
dumbest comment of the debate. Oh, wow. You said it with a smile like it sounded so great. Round around you talk, but you don't say straight. That's the dumbest comment of the debate.
Yes. Good job, Jim Bob.
Jesus,
Where's that
the
comment?
New Testament, and
Where's that comment? I can't see it.
Here.
Got it.
Islam both talked about washing hands.
I don't know if you know, but Jim Bob has been on a little bit of a crusade against evolution lately and has been getting dog-walked by everyone on that debate. But yeah, it's funny that he still tries.
So Jim Bob was watching this debate.
Yes.
Or is Fearless and Jim Bob friends?
No idea, maybe.
Okay.
Or just supporting the team, you know?
These people came up to Jesus, the story in the Bible, really very funny story. You know, I said, let's get the verse in front of us over here. It says, they don't wash their hands before they eat. They're complaining about his disciples not doing.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God, the washing of the
Basically,
hands.
to make a long story short, Jesus puts up this huge argument. No, you know, you don't understand. This is just tradition. You shouldn't follow man's tradition. Obviously,
Is he attacking Jesus? Is that what I'm hearing? He's attacking Jesus?
No, I think that he's attacking the washing of the hands. But yeah, I mean, you could say that because it is Jesus who's speaking. He's going to end up saying Jesus doesn't say wash your hands, therefore Islam.
So he's
That's
attacking
it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
A Muslim is attacking Jesus. That's unbelievable.
I mean, Junior dreamt of Jesus, Nadir. That's what you should be saying.
God, this is wild.
Stupidity when someone's telling you wash your hands before you eat, because the CDC states very clearly here, hand washing is a healthy habit before you eat. Before eating, you need to wash your hands.
Oh my God. You gotta love appeal to the CDC, right? I mean, yeah, we all know, Nadir, germ theory is not a concern for the people of the book. They were trying to avoid, dying of more serious stuff than not washing your hands.
Please, especially when you're dealing with manure and things like that. You can catch a tapeworm. The Quran, I'm sorry, Prophet Muhammad in his authentic hadith states, which I can find it over here. It states over here that a messenger of Allah wanted to sleep. While he was in junub, he would perform wudu, and when he wanted to eat, he would wash his hands. The very thing Jesus was complaining about, allegedly. And by doing so, the Prophet of Islam.
Oh my God, he has from the the National Library of Medicine, like a citation for a study: efficacy of hand washing with soap and nail clipping on intestinal parasitic infections in school-age children, a factorial cluster randomized controlled trial. Like, wow. That is something you would like. Oh yeah, washing your hands is a good thing. Like we need that justification. That it's weird that when he makes dumb arguments, he has no evidence, but then he will bother to pull a citation for something like this. That is just peak Nadir.
I think we're losing our brain cells.
I love it.
Man, utter stupidity.
Wins the recognition of the scientific community. A second recognition we see in today's debate. Efficacy of hand washing and soap and nail clipping, which is also taught in Islam. And so we can see from this article, Science Today. Let's see. I'm sorry. Let me get you the article. I can't find it here, actually. Here we go. The WHO actually praises Islam in the following article. Okay, World Health Organization, the state over here. The Prophet Muhammad always urged Muslims to wash hands frequently and especially after some clearly defined tasks. So let's go to our scorecard. Who did the better job on washing hands before eat? Prophet of Islam. So I only got one more minute here, but I think you can see what's happening here. Islam.
Yes, I see that you enticed me with the mustard seed and you didn't give it to me. That's what I see, Nadir.
Is reversing the sinister evil effects which was unleashed upon mankind by the teachings of the New Testament, from fetal alcohol syndrome to the death of 6 million Jews and 2,000 years of suffering and persecution of pogroms, all taught because of that one verse in the Bible. And of course, washing hands. Now, unfortunately, my time is up, so I can't go through all these other categories, but I think the 4 categories that we see on our screen is enough to draw the conclusion that yes, Islam is true, and the Prophet Muhammad proved it by basically giving better answers on the subjects than with the Bible. So what my opponent needs to do, he needs to come up and say, no, the Bible, the Islamic answers are inferior. They're not good. He needs to do
1 minute left.
Uncheck mark this and check mark Bible, or just uncheck mark it in some way.
Bro, I have
and tell us why these are not better teachings. If he cannot,
go ahead. Sorry.
I would say, if I was the Christian debater on this, I'd be like, dude, Nadir has just lost this debate simply because he attacked his own prophet. He attacked his prophet in order to legitimize his position of Islam. He threw his own prophets under the bus. He threw his own holy scriptures on this bus. He threw the big JC under the bus. He threw the holy scriptures under the bus. He has no chance to win. If he wants to say the books are corrupt, then God corrupted his books. He has no chance to win. he's dug a grave and he's jumped in, and now he's pouring the dirt right over himself. He's burying himself alive. This is the debate we're getting from Nadir. It's just like unbelievably bad.
It's
I'm like,
pretty bad.
he's defeating himself. He's defeating himself.
And it seems like a very specifically weird tailored thing that he can only speak about how Islam is better than the Bible because he thinks he has some point here, which he does not in any case. But that's part of his appeal. He's just hitting his head against the wall. Let's see what the Christian does now. I mean, Islamic dilemma would be a pretty good response to all of this nonsense.
Then you should be rest assured that Islam is the true religion. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you very much for that opening. We are going to kick it over to Fearless Truth for his opening as well. But first, a couple of quick housekeeping things. First, folks, if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, I'm your host, Dr. James Coons. We are a fully neutral debate platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button as we have many more debates coming up. Subscribe below. With that, we're going to kick it over to Fearless Truth. Thanks for being with us. The floor is all yours for your 15-minute opening as well.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
You got it. Ready for you.
All right, let me get the tab up here.
If you haven't yet, folks, hit that like button. We do appreciate your support. Hitting that like button does help.
All right, can you see it properly?
Yep.
Cool. All right, guys. So I'm gonna make this opening pretty short and sweet to the point because I'm very excited to get to the rebuttals and the cross exam, because after that opening, I have a lot of things to say. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, the debate, is Islam true? Now, what are the claims of Islam? To actually be able to defeat Islam, we need to know what the actual claims are. First of all, Islam claims that it is the revelation from Allah. It claims that Muhammad is a true prophet, and it is the final revelation amongst others that were already given by Allah. Now, some things we need to consider here when we're talking about whether or not it's from God and the Quran is from God and Islam in general is from God. We need to think, okay, number one, is it historical? Does it have some sort of historical basis, or does it go against science? Number two, does it show proper continuity with the previous prophets? Is Muhammad in agreement with these other revelations that already occurred? And number three, is it logical? Starting off with, is it historical? Well, we see that the earliest sources for Jesus' crucifixion, we have things like John Meyer's A Marginal Jew, which is going to be the one of the quote-unquote accurate transmissions of the Antiquities of the Jews by Josephus. Many people claim that some of the antiquities were sort of messed with and tampered with. But here I give you a version that is widely recognized by scholars as the most accurate transmission, which indeed does talk about Jesus' crucifixion. Also, in Tacitus in the Annals, book 15, he as well speaks about the crucifixion of Christ. So in some of the earliest sources that we have Christ being crucified. We have people that are neutral saying he was crucified, and Josephus was actually a Jew. So he was more than neutral, and he said that Christ was crucified. Now, what he's going to have to show is that these people were wrong and that he has some other historical basis besides the Quran, because just using the Quran is circular. So he's going to have to show more things than the Quran that show his claims that these things are accurate.
I'm sorry. Maybe you didn't hear this little very cute thing that they do that is called freaking magic. Right? It said it was made to appear to them. Who can do that in Islam? Allah, weak sauce. And also appealing to Josephus, even weaker.
Actually historical. Now, the next thing is, does it have proper continuity with the previous prophets? So in basic syllogistic format, premise one, if a prophet is a true prophet, he must be in agreement with the previous prophets. Premise two, Muhammad is not in agreement with the previous prophets. Conclusion, Muhammad is not a true prophet. Now, the question is, how do we prove that, right? How do we show that he is actually not in continuity with the previous prophets? Well, if Muhammad came up to you in the 6th to 7th century and he said he was the last prophet in line with the rest of the prophets, how do we confirm he's actually this prophet? Well, we would go to the previous prophets and we'd see, do they actually match up? So let's see if they match up here. Here are just some of the prophets that Muhammad contradicts. For example, Isaiah says the Messiah will die for the sins of the people and he will be cut off.
Oh my, none of those are about Muhammad. It's the Messiah. No.
I have some breaking news.
Yes.
About Dawa debates.
Okay.
Mr. Junior, I don't know if I can show you,
JV
has been suspended.
Oh no! No, wait.
X.
Let me see if I can make you big. There you go. Oh no! He was getting a little bit
a little bit anti-Semitic.
Sympathizing.
And it says his name here. They doxed him too.
Oh no. Poor guy. I wanted to debate him and he never replied to me. Damn it. JV what you doing?
Wow, there's so many posts on him. It says all the Jewish people have come out to comment on him. It says Raz Savor. Yeah, Raz Savor. Yeah, that's what it says his name in Hebrew. It says, here's Junior, the biggest liar in the world, spewing Palestinian talking points straight out of his mouth. Anyone who believes them at this point is just an idiot.
Really?
And then Andrew Tate responds to Junior, no, I will not help you. It's because I was following you. I was listening to what Junior was saying. And then all of a sudden it just stopped because it kept blasting on my phone. I was like, this dude does not stop posting. I was like, oh,
Steel City says suspended for how long?
No, but listen to what he wrote. Let me show you what he wrote. You need to see what he wrote. This is wild. I know it's mirrored.
Oh, no.
Look at what it says.
Thanks for proving this. Yes, that one. The one in the middle. Okay. What a crazy wacko.
I'm mad. I mean, wasn't his mother a Christian and his wife was a Christian?
I think so.
Their tradition satanic. And he says that they're murder and sexual assault.
That is very weird. Steel City was wondering how long.
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be hard. It says one of the most evil accounts on this platform that has been spreading the most slanderous lie. It's not just about Jews, but also Christians, has had his account suspended. Posted are a few examples of his contempt for Christianity. My gosh. I didn't know that he had these kind of feelings. I know he was a little, but I didn't know he would post this on his feed.
Oh, you never checked it?
No, it says
he's pretty
Leviathan.
wild.
Everybody's posting on him. Leviathan is a Toronto-based trader, crypto investor, singer, life coach, owner of several dissolved businesses, and all-around scam artist. Dang. He is frequently traveling between Miami and Toronto. I'm not going to say his name. Openly calls for the violence against Jews using verses from the Quran and justification from Islam, while standing by his words stating, I am willing to die behind my beliefs at any moment. I am not afraid of death. He has even been seen threatening this violence against others by stating, you're next, you dirty Israeli F, to one user. Blank, his name, Junior, engages in Holocaust denial and support of Mustachioed Man. Just don't forget what Mustachioed Man said about the Jews. It was accurate, he says in one post.
Oh my. Lost the plot.
While stating Jews lied to the world about a Mustachioed Man in another. I'm so glad that at the debate I didn't say that I was Jewish. Oh my gosh. It was very smart for me not to say that I was Jewish in these debates. Oh my gosh. Because I Honestly, maybe it was bad, but I was kind of really pissed when he started talking bad about Jews. Like, you could see me during the debate, my face was like, oh my God, he's saying anti-Semitic things. I was like, oh, wow. He says Jews worship money and print the money. Hence, they technically have control over all degenerates. And that it's not Jew hatred when it's true.
Well, I mean, they don't have. We know one they don't have control over, and that's me. So wrong there.
They don't have control over anyone. This is ridiculous. They're just normal human beings. Further dehumanizes all Israelis, including kids, by saying Israeli children are terrorists. Then he says that Hamas are a resistance. I'm like, huh? How does that work? How is all the Israelis are terrorists, but the Hamas are resistance? I don't know what to say about that. Then he would spit on Israeli given the chance. Any Israeli, I'm going to spit on the Israeli.
Oh my.
Given the chance, and blames the Jew for Palestine. So it's not just Israeli for Palestine, it's Jew. So
another case of religion literally rotting someone's head. That is just wild.
And Mandy Patinkin, who is from The Princess Bride, one of the most decent, amazing, most wonderful people that you could ever see. Mandy Patinkin did Hanukkah. He did the lighting of the candles on Hanukkah with Mayor Mamdani. It's very beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful videos.
Oh my. Hold on. Holy. Someone ban her quickly. Here you say worthless lives, and here you are watching us very contently. Holy, fuck you. Someone ban her quickly.
Who is this?
My stalker.
Man, because you maggots hate the truth.
Yeah, I had a debate with a crazy flirt chick,
Is
and
this
she became my stalker ever since.
This person is the woman? Who is
Yes.
What's her name?
Holly.
Oh, Holly. Okay.
Yes. Pretty sandy vagina, if you ask me.
You're so bad.
I
No,
mean, that's why she speaks like that, because all the time she's perpetually back from the beach. All right, hold on, let's keep it
Wow,
going.
they really this is intense. I didn't know it was this rough. This is public interest to Miami and Toronto Jewish communities regarding this radical individual. I mean, it's funny because you see in the debate, he doesn't talk like this exactly, but it's like he's far more subdued. This is why people might really be very sympathetic, but this is rough.
Wow. Damn. All right, hold on.
And he referred Jews and Israel, referring to it as the synagogue of Satan, despite being a Muslim. He called the Jewish. Oh my God! But you know what? I think Nadir wouldn't be against this either. You know what I mean?
He might be more careful with what he. What a dumb time to do something like that in the U.S., especially now. So hold on, let's keep this going.
From the land of the living. That's Isaiah 53. Zechariah says the Messiah will be God. That's Zechariah 12, where Yahweh himself says they will look on me whom they pierced. Micah says that the Messiah will be eternal. Micah chapter 5, it talks about how his days will be from everlasting. David says the Messiah will be from God. That's Psalms 45, where he claims that he is God himself. Now, is it logical? So here's another basic syllogistic format here is premise one. If the Quran is...
Here, none of this is about Jesus. And the citations on this, they're all things that are attributed prophecies to Jesus. So I don't know how this applies or how even this contradicts Muhammad. If you think that this applies to Jesus,
he is God himself. Now, is it logical? So here's another basic syllogistic format here is premise one. If the Quran is the word of God, then the Trinity is polytheistic.
Junior revealed it's JVDR revealed on God Logic stream that he can't fly. I watched that.
What does Holly
Yes.
look like?
We don't know.
Oh, she doesn't have like a pic. You don't know her face. You didn't see
No,
her.
she hides in anonymity. Look what I have. I have a freaking white feet. Here, hey, say hi to the people. No, she hides in anonymity, and I told her that I wanted to see her face, and she wants to see my family in exchange for that. So I was like, yeah, no, never going to happen. So yes,
What do you mean,
but
see your
no.
family? What does that mean?
She wants to talk to my mom, for example. My mom that doesn't speak English, you know.
Oh, she wants to marry you? Is that what she's trying to do? Is she
I
trying
have
to?
no idea. I do suspect that she gets tingly when she sees me, but
Wow.
that's just my suspicion.
Premise 2, the Trinity is not polytheism. Conclusion, the Quran.
Melissa's back again, just throwing out random verses.
Who's
That-
Melissa?
I don't know. Melissa, I remember them from because it says Melissa, but the picture is a guy. So I don't know. And Melissa was just doing the same thing, throwing out random verses, but didn't want to click the link. That's what I remember. A little bit of coward.
Quran is not the word of God. So guess what? He is going to have to show that for some reason, the Trinity actually falls into polytheism. And I would love to see how that happens.
Why?
And see how we can figure out if it's actually polytheism or not.
No one runs from us. Holly. Oh, you're cute. Ban her again
How did you know that that's the person?
because of how she speaks.
That's why you're all on a felony list.
Oh,
What's
isn't
that
that cute? Holly the crack whore telling me I'm on a felony list when that is not even a thing in my country. That is lovely.
But
Holly.
I think she's saying you and I. It said all of us, so we're all a part of this thing.
Yes, she in her head. That's
We're all
everyone.
included. Yeah,
Yes.
you and I are included in this.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
sure.
Woo.
Here's something my opponent may try to argue that I predicted correctly. He may try to argue scientific miracles.
Oh my God.
And so to that, I answer, if this is the determination of prophethood, then the writer of the Edwin Smith Papyrus must be a prophet, as is one of the earliest known works to be completely in line with scientific discovery, as well as every other scientific discovery before then that are accurate to the core. They all must be prophets according to that. No.
That's a good rebuttal to one of Nadir's nonsense arguments. That's a very good job. I wasn't impressed until now. You got some points back. Good job.
What if the scientific miracles were true, right? Let's say that they were true. Even if Muhammad got every scientific miracle or every scientific prediction correct, if he's not in continuity with the previous prophets, it automatically rules him out of being a true prophet, and there must be some other answer, right? So if he goes against them, if he is in complete disagreement with what the previous prophet said, he at the very least is not in line with those prophets or from the same God that those prophets are from. So he's going to have to say either one, that these other prophets weren't from God, or two, Muhammad isn't from God, or three, which would be the final and only logical conclusion, that God himself contradicted himself. So we'll see what answer he comes up with. I'm excited to get into the rebuttals and cross-examine. With that, I can see the rest of my time.
Thank you very much for that opening. We will kick it into the rebuttals and want to give you a couple.
Melissa, the random throwing of Bible verses is getting a little bit old. If you want to talk, after your timeout is done, just say you want to talk and we'll talk. But it's boring as hell. Sorry.
Quick housekeeping things. First, folks, If you did not know, I'm putting a link for our insiders list in the live chat right now. It's also in the description box. This is so you know when DebateCon will happen.
Oh my, remember here is the LARPing for cash guy. Remember that guy? Sir Buggy Goy Burger.
Is he here?
Yeah, he was in the chat here.
Oh, he should come back here. We miss him.
Oh no, he got banned for being racist.
To
But
me,
next,
probably,
that's-
right?
Yes.
It's modern day debates.
Oh, I think he did. He's been bigoted and racist to me every time he can.
Yeah, he can't help. Every debate he starts saying very mild stuff and always ends up saying the craziest, racist.
Well,
shit.
especially when I show up, he
Yeah.
loves to spend his venom at me. I was on David's show one time and he was in the chat and he was saying some very nasty things to me, and I just smiled. I said, "Okay."
Yeah, he's pretty dumb about it. This also. There's one. I wanted to tell you another thing about Holly, the crazy lady here that got banned twice. She figured out after, I don't know, a year and a half that I have a tongue piercing. And she freaked out over emails over my tongue piercing. She emailed me like raging mad
Well, who
that
cares?
I don't know. It seems to make a pretty big deal to her. Like,
Wow.
but she lost her marbles. It was hilarious.
I think for me, I just like, okay, move on.
And it's my first stalker, so I'm pretty excited.
Official conference and DebateCon is happening this summer. We basically have the date. We're about to send that out to our insiders list. So join that insiders list now so you can get promo codes for discounts on tickets, as well as word before everybody else on when and where DebateCon will be. That we're going to jump into the rebuttals, which are 10 minutes apiece. The floor is all yours, Nadir. Thanks for being with us.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so the big joke here is that he ended quite early. You should have taken that time to respond to the points which I've presented to you. It's almost
No, Nadir, no. That's you do your opening. You don't do like rebuttals on the opening. If you don't know what the other one's going to say, Nadir, no, that was dumb right off the bat.
almost like he was absent. Okay, so this is going to be a long night for him. Now, I'm going to do my best to address all the objections. If I miss one, it's not because that Islam is wrong. It's just on me. Maybe I missed something or something like that. So let me start. He says there's no continuity with the prophets inside the Bible is basically what he's quoting. Well, there's a very simple answer to that. The Bible is wrong. What the Bible...
Wait, no, Nadir. Nadir, the Quran says that the Bible is the word of God. What are you doing? You can't do that, Nadir. That is silly.
The Bible says on the issue of alcohol is wrong. This is one of the many errors in your book, and the Quran is correcting it. So there is a clear continuity. It's just that you have errors in your book, like the virginity test. No true prophet is going to tell his followers to do a virginity test in the Bible, which you see there. And that passage I'll have to find it for you. But so these are clear mistakes in your Bible, which the Quran and Islam is correcting. So you also talked about you want to see historical evidence for the crucifixion. I can show it to you, but I think the crucifixion has been already debunked. I'm going to share my screen here. The story of the crucifixion.
Wait, no, hold on. No, Nadir, if the verse that you're referring to is that the Quran says that it was made to appear to them like Jesus got crucified. So if these people, it appeared to them that Jesus was crucified, these people will have evidence of Jesus being crucified. Right? Because that's all you have. People writing down Jesus got crucified. Or later, a couple of generations removed, people talking about the people that are talking about how Jesus got crucified. And that's how you build a historical narrative. This is just silly, Nadir.
Crucifixion is an evil, wicked, sinister story. It is responsible for the death of 6 million Jews and
Oh, no.
2,000 years of persecution and suffering. Don't listen to me. Every Holocaust scholar, academic has talked about that.
I don't know how you feel about that, Isa, but that is so uncomfortable that he would say something like that as an argument.
Well, what was the thing he said? I missed that last thing.
Okay, hold on.
It is responsible for the death of 6 million Jews
Ugh.
and 2,000 years of persecution and suffering. Don't listen to me. Every Holocaust scholar, academic has talked about that. I showed you, from the Holocaust.
So he's saying that Christianity caused this situation.
Yeah, all the anti-Semitism, the Holocaust.
But there's a big problem here. What is Jesus? What is he? What's his culture?
Well, he would say Muslim because he's so dumb like that.
Oh no, Jesus was Jewish. Like, oh my God, Jesus was Jewish. Like, Lord have mercy. So, like, how can it be anti-Semitic when the hero is a Jew? This is the thing that I'm not. Some people could be anti-Semitic, but if he's Jewish, the heroes are all Jewish. Paul is Jewish too. They're all Jewish.
And it also stems from like that the persecution to the Jews was because of that thing. Historically, they had conflicts even among themselves. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird stretch to make an argument like that.
Weird.
Holocaust Museum, Yad Vashem, the list goes on. So you said you have to disprove it historically. I could disprove it historically if you push me to, but I don't think I need to because you forgot about something called evil. It is, you have to also factor in the fact that could this be a satanic corruption in your book? A true book of God shouldn't be responsible for bringing such death, suffering, and misery into the world. Now I know what.
Wait, no, again. This is taking the corruption claim to like the next level, right? It's not only just a corruption from the people; it's a corruption from Satan. Is this just Nadir losing his marbles?
Yes.
Let me speed it up a little bit.
What you're thinking, well, no, it's just the ignorant believers who misinterpreted. This has nothing to do with interpretation. This is about incitement, inciting hate in people. That verse about where it says the Jews killed Jesus, it makes people angry. Very angry, as we now know from history.
I don't know when that was the last time we have a record of it being like an actual problem, out in the real world. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, right? I think that's a grudge that most people have let go of.
Weird. I have to quote our illustrious, lovely lady, Rachel Zegler. Weird.
Islam came and removed this theological driver of hate and brought peace, compassion, prosperity into the world. I have issued the challenge. Where do you see any kind of, where Jews, if you go to Israel today, it is literally littered with refugee camps of throwing those Arabs and Muslims out of their homes.
That's not true. That's not true.
What is he talking about?
He's saying there's all these refugees camps in Israel. They're not. That's just not true. He's not speaking true.
I couldn't say. I haven't been to Israel.
I've been 3 times. Yeah, he's not telling the truth. There's problematic elements, but it's not what he's talking about. Because the thing is, they just make up stuff. You know what the problem is like in Israel is the checkpoints. The checkpoints are a problem. Like where you have to go through the checkpoints from Palestine, Israel territory. I understand why they're there, but it's still a problem. It's not
okay.
Good. It's not good.
And this is where they've been languishing. In our Islamic history for 1,000 years. Where do you see any of that? You don't. You don't, because of the peace, because Islam removed this theological.
I like how he said very confidently of the peace. What peace?
Hate from our beliefs. So let's go ahead and share. Let's ask. So I asked the question here. If we make the assumption, now this is just
no. Fuck. Damn it. Sorry. I hit the thing and I messed up. Give me 1 sec. Come on. There. 1 second. 25. Sorry, I hit something. I fat fingered it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go.
Continuity. It's just that you have errors in your book, like the virginity test. No true prophet is going to tell his followers to do a virginity test in the Bible, which you see there. And what that passage I'll have to find it for you. But so these are clear mistakes in your Bible, which the Quran and Islam is correcting. So you also talked about you want to see historical evidence for the crucifixion. I can show it to you, but I think the crucifixion has been already debunked. From the Holocaust Museum, Yad Vashem, the list goes on. So you said you have to disprove it historically. I could disprove it historically if you push me to, but I don't think I need to, because you forgot about something called evil. It is, you have to also factor in the fact that could this be a satanic corruption in your book? A true book of God shouldn't be responsible for bringing such death, suffering, and misery into the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, no, it's just the ignorant believers who misinterpreted. This has nothing to do with interpretation. This is about incitement, inciting hate in people.
Oh, hashtag appeal to emotions.
Very angry, as we now know from history. Islam came and removed this theological driver of hate and brought peace, compassion, prosperity into the world. I have issued the challenge. Where do you see any kind of, where Jews, if you go to Israel today, it is literally littered with refugee camps of throwing those Arabs and Muslims out of their homes, and this is where they've been languishing. In our Islamic history for 1,000 years, where do you see any of that? You don't. You don't, because of the peace, because Islam removed this theological hate from our beliefs. So let's go ahead and let's ask. So I asked the question here. If we make the assumption, now this is just basically going to ChatGPT, and I want you to also do this. I want you to take this paragraph and put it in ChatGPT, and let's see what responses you get. So my argument here is, oh, look, AI said it's okay. No, that's not what I'm saying here, okay?
Oh, my fucking cat. That's not what I'm saying while he's saying it.
Oh, boy.
If we make this assumption that Muhammad is a false prophet from Satan, and in light of the fact, and the Quran explicitly states that the Jews did not kill Jesus, thus removing the stigma and theological hostility, it reduced one of the major drivers of religious hatred. So how can you reconcile an alleged false prophet correction that brought a certain level of peace into the world, while God's word, allegedly, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14, the accusation against the Jews of deicide brought persecution into the world? Okay, this is not about interpretation. This is about explicit reading of the text. It's about incitement.
Melissa, what did I tell you? Play whack-a-mole with Melissa until she starts speaking like an adult person.
Post-Holocaust reinterpretations don't work. So I keep going on over here. The verse is not being blah, 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 blah. But rather, it's generating hate, thus causing the problem. The fact remained that Christianity did indeed plant a murderous theological seed that Islam, in this one specific area, uprooted. So then I finally asked, in light of this fact, does the initial assumption make sense? Yes or no? That Muhammad is a false prophet. How does it make sense? Let's go and let's take a look at what the AI basically stated here. No. From ChatGPT, no. Within a Christian theology, blah, 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 blah. You can read this. No. And I want you to, again, do it on your side so that there's no biasness at all. So this is a good one from Gemini. No, at least not within the framework that requires a perfect alignment of moral outcomes with divine origins. Okay, and let's go to Grok. No, this initial assumption does not make sense, as it creates an irreconcilable paradox where a purportedly satanic deception fosters peace by alleviating anti-Semitic stigma. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Now, that's just AI. It could be wrong. It could be wrong. That's what you're coming here for, Fearless Truth.
But, like, the conditions are given. That's a very tendentious prompt there, my good sir.
You are going to tell us how AI, and of course, this whole argument where they got it wrong, because of course it could be wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong a lot. Sure, no problem. It could be biased towards me, but explain this to us. How is, you asked about the crucifixion. This is why you should reject the crucifixion, because it is an evil, wicked, sinister story. Now, if you have any doubt,
oh my God, I love Nadir. Like
It's a
the
sinister
story
story.
about the guy sacrificing himself for the sins of everyone. That is like an evil, sinful story. I love Nadir. Don't get me wrong, I know the story is false, but at least I wouldn't be so deluded into saying something like that. That is just wild.
doubts about that, I will pay for your airfare. You're from Ohio, I will pay and give you 5-star accommodations. And we will go to any Jewish temple in this country, including the pro-Israeli ones, and they will all agree with me. They will say that story in your book is evil and wicked, and it needs to be purged. Judaism is unanimous upon that, by the way. So this is not just a Nadir Ahmed argument. This is what has been endorsed by all of Judaism, as well as the Holocaust scholars.
Wait, no, hold on. Because when you appeal to the Jews like that, the Jews also reject Muhammad in the same way that they reject Jesus. So what are you talking about? Another self-defeater by Nadir. Oh my, he takes so many L's.
This one evidence alone disproves, what you believe and proves Islam to be true. Okay, so I answered your contradicting previous prophets. The Quran is correcting the errors in your book. So one last point. I know what you're thinking. That it's the believers who are responsible for the Holocaust. No, it's the Bible responsible, because it introduced the idea. Introducing an idea while knowing it will likely cause harm or serious problems does create some degree of moral responsibility for foreseeable outcomes, true or false. Copy this and put it in your chat GPT or whatever, and it'll all say true. So there's no way you can absolve 100% responsibility from the sinister teachings of the New Testament. And this is why we say Islam is a religion of peace. So let's go back to one of the arguments I brought forth, that the whole issue about fetal alcohol syndrome. I've pointed out that that in its correction, do you remember those 3 scientifically correct statements? Do not drink alcohol. Alcohol exists in the veins. That was only discovered recently. BAC, blood alcohol concentration. And the harm of it outweighs any good. In Muhammad, Islam's correction of the Bible, it made 3 scientifically astonishingly correct statements. How does a mere human being do that? And is the Bible responsible for those fetal alcohol children? Yes. Yes. Because it administered a drug to a general population of people. So don't say stupid things like, well, the Bible didn't tell pregnant women to drink. It administered a drug to the general population, which included women and children, and it didn't warn them of the side effects. It didn't warn them that this is going to happen, that the bad things could happen. So now we can look at it from a legal perspective as well. The Bible does bear responsibility for administering this drug. Okay, so there's no doubt at this point, from a scientific point of view, moral point of view, historical point of view, that Islam is the true religion. Now, I've only given you, what I've given you in terms of the scientific evidence is just a drop in the bucket. There's a far more scientific evidence, but I feel like this is enough. I don't have time to really get into all of that, but there's more. So if you feel like, well, I need more evidence, that's no problem. I can go ahead and give you that. So the question I have for you then tonight, which is a part of the Christian dilemma, how do you explain an alleged false prophet saving millions of children from fetal alcohol syndrome, while the true Lord and Savior, which you believe in, let them perish? That doesn't make sense. It's like, I can give you an analogy, it's like a child is choking and Jesus is just watching him choke. And then Muhammad comes in, oh my God, what's going on?
Oh my Nadir, what a crazy argument.
And rescues and saves that child. Explain that to us.
We're at
A false prophet doesn't do that.
We're at time. With that, we will switch it over to the rebuttal from Fearless Truth as well, and housekeeping stuff. Folks, if you didn't know, Modern Day Debate has a Discord. Check out that link in the description box, as well as I'm going to pin it at the top of the chat. Join 15,000 members in the Discord. Enter the debate arena via that link right now. With that, Fearless Truth, thanks for being with us. Floor is yours for your rebuttal.
All right, guys, very excited to get into this rebuttal. So we had multiple statements. First of all, I'll start off. I wrote down all the notes on everything he said. Number one, he said I should have taken the time in my opening to respond to him. That's literally not what opening's for. You don't respond to people's opening in an opening. That's why I didn't respond, even if there was time left. That's simply not what you do. All you showed me was the scholars in the Holocaust and that it was evil and the Bible caused this. But whether or not this thing was actually evil proves nothing about whether or not it is historical. Proves nothing. Even if it was completely and utterly evil, well, guess what? First of all, that's subjective. We have to prove objective epistemology and morals and ethics first.
No. What? You're not speaking to an atheist. He believes in objective morals the same way like you do. Floundering from the start. Bad Christian. You can't be doing that badly against Nadir. This is insane.
First. And secondly, it has nothing to do with whether or not it actually happened. Also, you said Islam uprooted the hatred for Jews, which is interesting because if you actually read Sahih Bukhari 29:26, it says the hour will not be established until you fight with the Jews. And the stone behind which a Jew is hiding will say, oh, Muslim, there's a Jew hiding behind me, so kill him. So interesting that Islam uproots the hatred for Jews, but it literally says the hour that you get to heaven won't come until you go and fight the Jews. So who's really inciting violence on Jews here? It seems.
I mean, yeah, but very typical to bring that verse up in response to what Nadir said. I think that's fair. Way better than the dumb shit he said last.
Like Islam. He gave up whether or not that the fact that Muhammad gave better answers in the Bible means it's from God, but whether or not Muhammad gave better answers has nothing to do with whether or not that it's from God. He could give all the better answers. Guess what? It doesn't mean that Islam is from God. He brought up quotes from Yad Vashem's YouTube, a Jewish Holocaust program, saying the Jews didn't do what the Bible said. No duh. It's literally a Jewish YouTube Holocaust channel based in Jerusalem. Of course, they're going to defend Jews and say it didn't actually happen. Wow, I am shocked, guys. Who would have guessed that? Also, he brought the fact that Muhammad brought Jews peace. That's fine, even if he brought them peace, because according to Islam, there will be a time where they will fight with them. So that's not going to last forever. He said the alcohol harm outweighs the benefit. Well, first of all, this is subjective. Whether or not something's harm outweighs a benefit is entirely subjective on the individual and what they consider to be a better benefit than a harm. So how on earth can this prove it's from God if it's a subjective claim? There's no way it can. Also, it depends on the alcohol. It says,
hold on. What do you mean? No, the damage is objective. And I continued searching onto this. And it turns out that it's a pretty big deal that women drink alcohol while they are pregnant. Apparently, there can even be problems with a couple of drinks on the early stages, like right before a woman knows she's pregnant. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, for full-blown fetal alcohol syndrome, like I said, the woman has to be like an alcoholic and also continue with alcoholism like during the pregnancy, which would be pretty bad. But apparently they have some evidence of very low alcohol levels also doing damage. Pretty interesting, actually. It still doesn't mean that the Quran is true, though. Sorry.
Oh, you cannot drink any alcohol.
That's not what the Quran said. The Quran didn't say that alcohol is just bad. It said
right.
What I told you before. It said good and bad in alcohol. Just the bad outweighs the good. The way Nadir is showcasing alcohol is not the authentic way that any classical Islamic approach is. He's making it seem like it's just this vile, horrible thing.
Yes. And also, like, even if you grant him the argument, the fact that people can use alcohol and not have problems it just invalidates his position. It's just a silly point to make.
There are plenty of alcohols that we could say actually that the positives outweigh the negatives. For example, champagne. If we actually read when we talk about, for example, MayoClinic.org is one of them, where it talks about how champagne is one of the best alcohols to actually have, and it has a lot of benefits, and it does not have any added risk. It says, and I quote, overall research suggests that those who drink regular limited amounts of alcohol, including red wine, seem to have no added risk or even a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, sudden death, possibly heart failure, etc. And so this has absolutely no bearing on whether or not it's from God either. Oh, he said this, in which I wrote down verbatim is what he said. This was hilarious. He said, only a God can make 3 scientifically correct statements. And I quote, okay, then the owner of the Edwin Smith papyrus, the author of that, must be from God. Guess what, guys? The owner of that papyrus must be from God, because he very clearly made 3 scientifically correct statements, and we can't find any incorrect statements in there. So guess what, guys? We have a new prophet, and that's just one. Imagine all the others. So guys, we have brand new prophets every day. This is amazing. He brought up hand washing. Yeah, everyone knew hand washing was good.
I like that rebuttal because it shows how silly the argument is. Because anyone can make 3 correctly scientific statements, and you probably have them before and after Muhammad, so it's a silly talking point.
The point of Jesus bringing that up as to why he didn't believe it was good was saying that it didn't need to be done as a ritual practice. It didn't need to be done as a tradition. Not that it shouldn't be done at all, but it needed to be done as a ritual. But whether or not he got that wrong still doesn't make the Quran true. Also, he said, he talked about how there was errors in our book. Well, if there's errors in our book, how do you know that the prophet was actually in continuity? You say you know the prophet was in continuity. Well, I rebuttal and ask, how on earth do you know that the prophet was truly in continuity if there was errors? Which parts do you side were true? Which do you side was false, etc.? We have literally no clue. So again, to kind of
good point there. You're right.
Go back to everything that we've already said. We have him saying things are scientifically true. Again, those things a lot of them are just subjective in the first place, so it doesn't matter. Number 2, he's bringing up Jews to say that the Jews didn't have the Holocaust. No doubt, of course, they're going to say that. He didn't bring up any sort of actual historical source showing that the Jews didn't kill Jesus. Not one, not a single historical source. All he brought was people today, like Jews, saying it didn't happen. And so, yeah, so I think that we've seen no real evidence yet that the Islam is truly from God. And hopefully in the cross exam, we can see some better things.
You got it. We will go into the cross exams indeed. So these will be 15 minutes apiece. Quick housekeeping note. If you haven't checked it out yet, folks, check out the Modern Day Debate Facebook page where you can find juicy clips from all these debates. I'm going to link that at the top of the chat, and it's in the description.
And local singles in your area.
Box. But the timer is set for 15 minutes. This is meant to be intentional. In other words, each person getting their 15 minutes to ask the person questions. The other person who's answering the questions is meant to only answer, so they're not meant to ask a question back. With that, Nadir will give you a chance to cross-examine Nick, aka Fearless Truth.
Okay, I need to confront you on some of your misinformation. Actually, all of it was misinformation. You said some very stupid things, and I'm going to share my screen here for you. Okay, because what it was basically, it was a misrepresentation of what science says.
You need to ask questions, Nadir.
I'm going to quote for you this article over here. This is from CNN. No amount of alcohol is good for your overall health, global study says. Do you not read? I read this to you, and it seems like it just went over your head. Many studies have shown that the overall health risk of drinking alcohol outweighs any benefits. This is word for word agreement with what we see in the Quran. They have some benefits for the people, but their harm is far greater than their benefits. Do you understand that the overall harm outweighs any of the benefits you cited of champagne? Do you understand that?
No, I disagree, and I think
okay,
that
you're too stupid. Let's go to the next point. So the next question, which I have for you, is, I've pointed out, you try to point out to something about Edwin Smith's papyrus. I don't know what he wrote here, but the issue which I'm challenging you here is on one correction. Muhammad, the prophet of Islam, made 3 scientifically correct statements.
I just want to be sure
blood in the veins. Yeah. So my question is, how can a mere human being, in correcting an issue, make 3 scientifically correct statements without making an error? Go ahead.
Yes, the same way that the author of the Edwin Smith papyrus.
Okay, show it to us. Just don't make claims. Show it to us. What are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah, so the Edwin Smith papyrus, it was authored by someone around 800.
No, share your screen. Don't just tell a story. Share your screen and show us what you're talking about.
You want me to...
Whoa, Nadir, relax. Calm your tits.
You want to give him a chance to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull it up, I guess, but
Yeah, you need to.
It's just, okay, sure. The Edwin Smith Papyrus is basically something that was authored way back in the day, and it is something in which they talked about how the different bone structures are.
Okay, I don't have time for this. So if you don't have the evidence ready to share, then let's move on to the next
I
one.
gave you
Obviously,
the Edwin Smith Papyrus. I just
silly.
gave it
That's
to
silly.
Nadir with the douchebaggery.
But the issue tonight, where I think you have failed tonight, remember I was showing you the criteria. I mean, for you to win this debate, really, you got to show. Remember the check marks? I showed how Islam did a better job. You are not able to show. No, the answers on alcohol are not better. The challenge I presented to you is, okay, let's take it. Pretend there's a time when we don't know about FAS and the effects it has to children before 1972. The answer which Islam gave that you shouldn't drink any alcohol at all if the people don't know about this stuff. So I'm going to challenge you right now. Explain to me how from a scientific point of view, how the Bible's answers is better than the Christian answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, whether or not the Bible is better than the Islamic answer doesn't make Islam true. If
okay,
I
so you were not able to. Okay, so we have seen that you have conceded that the Islamic answer on alcohol is a better answer.
How does that prove it's from God?
Okay, so but whether you can draw the conclusion of whether it can be from God or not, we can talk about that later. But also,
that's the point of the debate.
Comment here. Apostle from God says, Nadir, are you drunk or are you really this dumb?
Okay, we'll sum what I'm pointing out. I'll sum it up in just a second here. So now going back to your misinformation, as I've pointed out, I quoted to you the American Holocaust Museum, Yad Vashem, and every Holocaust scholar has talked about 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 16, that this verse is responsible for creating hatred and malice toward the Jewish people, which basically led to the Holocaust. So in response to the Holocaust scholars, and I pointed out, how could a loving God write something so evil in his book? Go ahead.
Yeah, because I don't think that just because something is evil makes it false. I agree. I think that this happened. Now, what happens from this, right, is based on the people after it. But all that's happening is they're writing down historical facts. There's no issue with that.
Oh, well, they're just writing down historical facts. It just happened to kill 6 million Jews. That's your response?
Yeah, so just because they...
Oh my God.
That is such a silly argument, Nadir. Holy fuck. Okay, hold on. Still. What is that? Hold on. This is the checklist according to Nadir. Has an extra row for Nadir. Nadir always wins.
People do
I overlooked the 6 million Jew fact. Yeah.
I want to give
Let's talk, guys.
I want to get you supposed to be questions.
Okay, go ahead, dummy.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
just
what?
because...
Nadir, you can't call anyone dummy. Holy shit.
People do bad things because of a historical fact doesn't make the historical fact false.
Mm-hmm. But introducing an idea while knowing it will likely cause harm or serious problems does create some moral.
Wait, Nadir, because if you're trying to do like the internal critique, you also need to weigh in the many souls that it saved. So you're kind of fucked there.
Some degree of moral responsibility for the foreseeable outcomes, true or false.
Yes, absolutely. And that doesn't
then
make
the
it
Bible is
false.
responsible for the death of 6 million Jews. Thank you.
Does that make it wait, would that make it historically false?
Well, the problem, we can now ask the question. Now, you want historical evidence? I'll give you historical evidence when you
dude, that doesn't follow. Because the Mustachios man motivation was not rational. Racism, discrimination is not a rational thing. It's just an impulse. So I don't think it makes your argument even less. Like, Nadir, this is embarrassing.
cross-examine me if that's really your issue here. But so it's like the question which you know, the AI was not able to resolve. This premise about Muhammad being a false prophet It doesn't make sense. Grok, AI, I'm going to give you an opportunity because that's just what AI is saying. I said, is this premise true? If we make the assumption Muhammad is a false prophet of Satan, and the Quran explicitly stated that the Jews did not kill Jesus, thus removing the stigma of theological hostility. So this doesn't make any sense. How do you explain an alleged false prophet, bringing peace into this world while the true, I guess, religion brought so much hatred and malice into the world? How do you explain that?
Yeah, because you're cherry picking. You remember that, Nadir, Muhammad threw a bunch of conquest wars. So, I don't know, it kind of undoes your argument there.
I don't think he did. I think when you actually look at the hadith, such as the one I read, he literally says we won't even have judgment day until
no, that hadith has nothing to do with what I'm asking you. Now, you just said, I don't think it did. I have just shown you the Holocaust Memorial. I've shown you Yad Vashem. Every Holocaust scholar has
a bunch of
made it very clear. So my question to you is...
No, I mean, for Chris, like, a rebuttal, a bunch of Jews is not the proper rebuttal to that stupidity, fearless truth. A bunch of Jews is the bad answer for that. It's just that Nadir doesn't have an argument. But your answer, that was pitiful.
Are you going to reject all the historians while you're going to accept the so-called history for the crucifixion?
Yeah, the only thing that you've done is show me Jews defending Jews. Jewish sites.
They are not Jews defending Jews. I'm quoting for you the culminate. Again, you're misunderstanding the evidence. Okay, you're misunderstanding the evidence which is being presented to you. This is not because Jews said so. Okay, keep that anti-Semitism to yourself. I'm quoting the American...
Wait, you're projecting there, Nadir, just a little bit.
Holocaust Museum, which is a culmination of all academic scholars, whether Jew or Gentile, and they all, not just Jews, they all say that it was this verse which caused the Holocaust. Do you understand this is not just Jews?
Which source have you given that isn't run by Jews?
Okay, I will. Can I share my screen?
Oh no!
You guys share that? No.
You're falling into the trap. Holy cow!
Hey guys, okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, did you guys hear all that noise in the background?
No.
I apologize if you did. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen real quick here. I got sidetracked by all the commotion in the background here. So yeah, I quoted the American Holocaust Memorial. I quoted Yad Vashem. These are the two sources that I quoted. Did you want me to share that reference with you again?
Sure.
He does say that a lot.
You can do the United States Holocaust one.
Okay. I wish you were paying attention when I first basically presented to you. Okay, so
I mean, just saying if you want.
Nadir, get down from that pony. You're going to fall and break your hip.
I'm saying you can show it again. It's up to you. I don't care.
Yeah. Pod. Let me get there. Okay, let me share my screen here. Okay, I'm quoting for you. Blah 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 blah. Yad Vashem, we did that one. But they're Jews, that's why it's wrong. Here we go. This is the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. It states right here, the false charge that the Jews killed Jesus. Hey, they're agreeing with the Quran. I love it. Which reinforced in official Christian teaching. These are the roots of anti-Semitism. I also wanted to share with you, and now this is the Anne Frank. Let me go to Anne Frank. Anne Frank Foundation. Again, this is from Anne Frank. I know this is really small. Let me make this a bit bigger. It says here, Christians saw the Jewish faith as an aberration that needs to be squashed. And Jews were sometimes forced to, I can't even find my reference here. Never mind. Okay, so there you go. I quoted the United States Holocaust for Memorial Museum, but I also want to quote for you another good source here, or bad source, however you want to look at it. That is Adolf Hitler himself. He quoted First
Thessalonians. No, Nadir, how are you going to do that? No, that will get you 20 dings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Damn, Nadir.
Nadir, this isn't meant to be. So okay. He asked you what your sources
can you please correct? Will you correct yourself when you say it's only Jewish people who say this?
No, my entire point is just because people say that it's wrong what happened and that they use the Bible verses for this. Well, guess what? A lot of the times people use, for example, the slave Bible, right? To say that, okay, slavery is okay. Just because people use text in a wrong way doesn't make the text themselves
They're not using the text in the wrong way. It's inciting hatred and anger in them. Hatred and anger in them.
These are meant to be questions, Nadir. Man, so this is how it works. Like a question to be like, So
Oh,
where
I'm
did you
sorry.
find that source? And then they answer, and then you say,
Okay.
okay, and what year is it from? Like that.
Okay, so this is something. Do you understand? This is a culmination of all Holocaust
Okay,
scholars and
Nadir,
academics.
one thing is
Oh.
to just say something and then to just say afterwards, do you understand this is true? Is like, it's a gray line where you're just taking a minute to make your case, and then you're
Mhm.
saying, do you understand that to be true?
Okay.
It's meant to kind of cross-examine him, to put him in the pressure seat.
Okay, so let me see what else. So the question, I guess my question for you, James, real quick, is what kind of I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused in terms of what kind of questions I should be asking.
About his position, or oh my fucking cat, Nadir, oh my.
So I've noticed a pattern where it's commonly you'll kind of repackage what you said maybe in a previous statement, and then you'll go, do you understand that this is true? And it's kind of it's okay if you, as long as you give him plenty of time to respond. But usually a cross exam would be where you're kind of trying to pin him down on something, but we'll give you a chance.
Okay, I'll ask another question. There is a hadith which says, which the final, the final day will not come until the Muslims fight the Jews, until they're like hiding behind a bush and the Jew cries out, "There's a Jew hiding behind me." Beautiful passage. This is my question for you is, when you look through the historical references, can you show me any instance of any of this teaching called inciting hatred, which leads to violence or anger against the Jewish people? Can you show me one example of that?
No, I'm saying I think this is the historical reference that is saying that one day there will be inciting violence. Yes, absolutely.
Is that the second coming of Christ? So it'll be God who will be judging them, right?
No, this isn't saying God's going to be killing. This is saying that people will be.
You are obviously ignorant of the fact that this is a messianic prophecy, that this is when Jesus comes back in his next life, and that's what we say is that when God comes, he will, or when his messenger comes, he will judge the Jews. So I guess my question for you is, when you look through the Quran,
Wait. Now you accept the second coming? Why? Isn't it corrupted? Nadir, you got yourself into a little bit of a pinch there.
Quran and Hadith, you will never find any verse of the Quran which incited hatred, violence against. Of course, you can never say never. But are you telling me you have no reference for that?
Yeah, I just gave you a reference. It's literally saying that the rocks will cry out and you will go and kill them.
That's not the question I'm asking. Show me in history where the teachings of the Quran or Hadith incited violence against Jewish people or any other group of people. No, I can't say never.
Dude, that is such a dishonest question. I mean, you can show that with every suicide bomber, every Islamic terrorist attack.
Never happened. But overall, would you agree? Pretty much not the case.
Yeah, the second coming hasn't come yet, so of course it wouldn't.
Okay, so up till now, there is no instance that you know of that this is happening. So, and we also talked about so I will go back to my question here. How can Muhammad be a false prophet when he removed this theological driver of hate and brought peace into the world, while the true God brought?
Because he didn't bring peace into the world. Like, what the fuck? There's been constant war forever.
So much hatred and malice into this world.
Because it's historically inaccurate what happened.
What's historically inaccurate? What are you talking about?
That Jesus did not, in fact, die on the hands of the Jews is historically inaccurate. Okay,
so what you are saying here is that you don't give a bleep about what about the suffering this story caused, but you just say it's really historical. It really did happen. I mean, that's what you're saying here today, right?
I care about facts. Yeah,
can you see how
I don't want us to rely on facts.
Can you see how evil this story is?
No, I don't think that it's evil to tell a historical fact.
Do you see the outcome of telling such a historical fact, what it did to the world?
Yes, I don't think that the people that used it to commit violence against the Jews is right. That is wrong. That does not take away from the fact that it is historically accurate.
But it introduced this idea, so it bears some of the...
No, but dude, no. What Nadir is referring to, like the source, what I was thinking is that as a person, you're morally culpable. But ideas aren't like something that happens if the event itself is malinterpreted by someone into committing a horrible act. Why then it doesn't change the fact that what happened was true. This is another silly argument, Nadir.
The responsibility, which you just said, yes, that is true. I will read for you again. Introducing an idea while knowing it will likely cause harm or serious problems does create some degree of moral responsibility. You said, yeah, that's true. Okay. So my question for you is, do you not see now how the New Testament does have some moral responsibility for introducing this idea?
No.
No, again, just because it gives historical fact, that does not mean it incites
Okay, it gave,
violence against
alleged, let's just go along with it. It gave this alleged historical fact, but can you now see how it is responsible to a certain degree for the 2,000 years of pogrom, violence, and hatred toward the Jewish people? Can you see that?
No, stating historical fact doesn't mean you're responsible.
Okay,
for the outcome
I'm
of it
giving you
because of
that. Let's just agree. I don't think it's true, but let's just give it to you. Fine, stating some historical fact, but by you stating this historical fact, you lack wisdom. You're a dumbass for stating that historical
Now you're calling someone a dumbass. Oh my, that is golden.
fact because
And we're
you
at
should have
time.
known about
Okay,
what
this is meant
the
to be for
consequences
questions.
this was going to happen.
So this is meant to be for questions. We're gonna, and I'm gonna hold you to the same standard, Fearless Truth. Where
Yes,
we'll have
of course.
15 minutes, and I really do want to press you guys strictly for.
Oh my, 15 minutes. I think I'm done for today. Isa must have been busy. Either that or she fell asleep. So let's go here. That is way too much, Nadir. The other guy, he's not. He got some very dumb point and just said some dumb excuses. So let's see how he does on the offensive. Isa, you're there.
Yeah, I'm here.
I've had enough for tonight.
You've had enough of
So-
Nadir? Don't you just
Oh
love
my.
Nadir? Nadir is just, Uncle Nadir is amazing. He just makes us feel like we're alive, right? This is such a
Yes.
great debate. You just agree with both sides. You think they're both are just
Oh
so
my.
profound.
No,
and
the other guy is so bad also. That's
Well,
why I'm having a hard time.
you're like, dude, I don't have a hero on either side of this.
Right, but
I'm
honestly,
I'm going to be very truthful with you. I don't feel Fearless Truth is doing a good position for Christianity.
no, he's doing
I
really
think
bad.
you and I could have debated Islam and Christianity better than either of them.
Yeah.
Fearless Truth didn't actually engage the points. He kind of deflected too, and I was like, dude, just engage the
Yes.
arguments.
It's
And it would
not
make you look
hard.
stronger.
That's what the like ticks me off. It's like, dude, Nadir's arguments are just trash. You should be addressing them directly.
But he doesn't.
And,
He doesn't address
and he
any of them.
doesn't. Like he's a little bit on the defensive, and I wonder how that happens. All right, do
Yeah,
you
but
want
I don't
to
think
do
he made a good
any?
case for Christianity.
No.
See, listen to my argument. This is how we can pimp. We could try pimping both arguments. I'm going to start off with the Christian argument. If I were to pimp the Christian argument, this is how it would go. I would say, well, Nadir, what we just heard Nadir do is Nadir attacked his own religion. He attacked his own holy scriptures. He attacked his holy prophet Jesus. He attacked his holy book, the gospel. His Quran says these are all holy scriptures. He attacked all of them. What kind of religion is this? His religion says that all of this is confirmed. All of this is true. All of this is good. What we heard Nadir do is he threw his own God under the bus. Is this the person we want to follow? Is this guy even right in his own head? Is he even logically rational? The only thing we've seen him do in this debate is shoot himself in the foot. This is why we must vote against Nadir, and we need to vote for our Lord, holy, mighty Jesus Christ.
The
Thank
big
you.
JC.
That's it. The great big JC. So that's my argument. What argument we could have done to pimp the Fearless Truth's argument, because it was not great. Then
No.
if we were to pimp Nadir's argument, this is what Nadir's argument should have been. I'm not doing this debate at all. No.
Yeah, why?
The best way to pimp his debate is that he shouldn't even have done this debate at all. No. His way of debating this position, because I've actually already debated it, and I did a pretty good job when I was with Emmy and Jay, right? That's the way you do it. You make a philosophical argument. You talk about how Islam is good and true because it helps poor people, it helps orphans, it creates a sense of community. Don't talk about don't make absolutist claims, because you look really bad if you do.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that, but just say, Islam is a very beautiful religion. Look how it transforms people's lives. It gives order. It gives purpose. it focuses on helping the poor and helping the orphans, and it focuses on, you know, uplifting everyone to a sense of purpose and to a sense of dignity and honor, and community. This is why Islam is good. Islam gives a sense of order where you have 5 times prayer, you have fasting, you have you know, pilgrimage, and you can do this all as a community. This is why Islam is good. You know, something like that would be a much better position on why Islam is true. Do you get what I mean? Like, that would actually work. I'm not saying it would persuade you, but it's a better argument. It's a more convincing
Yeah,
argument.
it's a better argument than this.
Yeah, that's the argument I wish Muslims would do. That's the argument you can do. Attacking Christianity is a no can do. Attacking
Yeah,
Judaism
that is,
and being
that
a
is just
rabid
bad.
anti-Semite is a no can do. But we keep seeing it. Junior's performance on Islam being true is just, I hate Judaism. Every Jew, Christianity,
Oh, yeah.
and then it's like, well, why is Islam good? Christianity, Jew, why is Islam good? I have no idea. You know why Islam is good? Because it will save me from hellfire. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's the least compelling argument for Islam, and they all do it. They're like, this is a good argument. It saves you from hell. And I'm like, every religion claims that. So what? Most, you know,
Yeah.
religions who believe in hell claim that if you believe in the religion, you'll be saved from it. So
Right.
we're very unimpressed by these Muslim debaters. They're all quite bad. And Nadir is he's just a beautiful flower that just, you know, emits beautiful fragrance.
Yes, and bad arguments. That's how it lures you in. Yeah, but no, my Nadir, this is really, really bad. I don't have much else to add other than yeah. So far, haven't been impressed really either by either side. And actually, to be like perfectly honest, being on the back foot with Nadir is a pretty bad sign for this fearless truth guy. You're looking pretty scared right about now. We'll see when we finish this. On the meantime, before we go, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send it to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your screen, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.